On the western edge of Sydney CBD, one of the world's most ambitious transformations is underway at a 22-hectare former container port. This blank canvas of concrete is going to become Barangaroo, a new harbourside extension of Sydney where people will work, live and play. This is where they're growing all the plants for the Barangaroo project, and what they're doing here will really blow your mind. An hour and a half north of Sydney, over 70,000 plants are being grown by Andreasens Green for this project. Lead time of some years. Many of these plants have never been grown before, so they've had to invent all of the technology and so on. Over 500 giant trees to be craned in. What an amazing project this is.
111 palms, I think over 500 different sizes of trees, 40 different species, 70,000 grasses and 6,000 lamandras.
I think from my perspective, I think one of the most exciting things about this Headland Park is that it will give Sydney a good native garden.
They're all indigenous plants. In other words, they're the same as Bennelong and Barangaroo. That is, they're local residents from Sydney Harbour.
Looking at the plants in isolation, they're just amazing, the natives. When you take it out of the bush and put it into a park or a headland park that we're creating, they're just going to be magnificent.
The lead landscape designer of Barangaroo Headland Park is Peter Walker. Peter's company, PWP Landscape Architecture, has designed enormous projects throughout the world, including the World Trade Center Memorial in New York City and the Marina Bay Sands Hotel Gardens in Singapore. Peter is working closely with renowned Australian horticulturist and arborist Stuart Pittendry to select the plants for Barangaroo Headland Park.
From my perspective, one of the most interesting things we did is that Stuart picked out places that represented these different areas. And we traveled all over, including up into the National Park Service area. And it was through that process that I got to believe that we had something that could be communicated to people. That people, when they came and saw it, would be not just entertained, but educated.
Normally in nurseries we're growing things uniformly, and I pride myself on having a batch of trees that looks exactly the same. So a customer wants 10 trees, they get the 10 of the same. For the Barangaroo headland, they want it looking like when you go for a bushwalk. So I don't have to do much pruning at all. We just let it grow naturally. If there's any inclusions in the bark, anything like that that we think is a structural issue, well, I've got to deal with that. But other than that, other than keeping nutrition and the trees looking good, I don't have to do too much work.
Andreasens Green took on what is a risky, adventurous and wonderful project to produce this vast range of local Sydney plants for what will be the most exciting project for a city park in the world. I was just thinking, in many ways, Simon, your job is the high risk one of the lot because you're looking at Australian plants where not much is known about it.
Because so little is known, what I did is I went out into this bush and took samples of soil, plant tissue. There is no plant tissue data.
And you run a laboratory that can break these things down into exquisite details.
That's right.
If they didn't have you behind this for Barangaroo, they would have put a lot of these plants out into the ground at Barangaroo. They'd have gone yellow like that and died.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly the...
Do you sleep nights?
The science.
It's been designed to meet the needs of the user, not to satisfy the appetite of the designers.
Really, for me, as a Sydney-born and educated landscape architect, what more could you want than a project like this on the doorstep of the CBD and such a valuable parkland and asset to the city infrastructure long term? What a legacy, and I'm just so privileged to be part of the project, really. I'm very proud of what we've achieved so far.
I was hoping I'll have a little plaque with my name or something.
This is an opportunity to build something for Sydney that I'll bring my daughter to, and hopefully my daughter will bring her kids to. So for me, that's being a part of a legacy is something that I'm very excited about.
If you get them wrong, the people would crucify you.
That's right.
That's right.
And that's why it keeps us up at night.